Recording in progress.
So, good morning, class. This time we'll have another topic, and that's discrete random variable. So we're done talking about probability, and still probability will be applied to the two random variables that we'll be still discussing for before midterms. Okay, so as for our learning outcomes, we'll be able to basically start with discrete random variable, and we'll provide examples in related to IT, and then we'll have construction of the discrete probability distribution, as well as computing and interpreting the expected value or the mean of a discrete random variable. So, in the field of IT, there are uncertainties. So, say for example, the server request per minute, the system errors that happen per day, per week, or per month, even failed logins. Okay? So, probability allow us to basically model, analyze, and predict the uncertain events that we have. So, discrete random variables help us quantify the countable outcomes of these specific scenarios. Okay, so we'll also be basically computing for the distribution, the probability distribution. So this help us understand how often these events are likely to occur. So before going to discuss about the discrete random variable, let's first look into random variable because we have two types of random variable. We have the discrete random variable and continuous random variable. So when we speak about random variables, this is a quantitative variable whose value depends on chance. Okay, so still um, looks into probability as it depends on chance. So say for example, in simple scenarios like getting the sum of a die when a pair of fair dice are rolled. Okay, so we can list the possible outcomes and compute for the probability. Okay, so the chance that this event happens. Okay, so for the random variable notation, for regular variables, we list our variables with lowercase, usually x, y, and z. Okay? So this just denotes our regular variables. But, excuse me. But as for random variables, we represent this with um, upper, okay, upper case letters. Okay, so say for example, we can um we can use the small variable x to denote the variable number of siblings. Okay, basically number of siblings like one, two, three. So these are the values. Okay, so we represent that with the small letter x. Okay, and to denote random variable. Okay, so we can say x, capital letter X, and then the number of siblings, which denotes that X now is a random variable. Okay. So we can just assign one, two, three for small or regular variables. Okay. So the event that selected student has two siblings would represent like the random variable X, which is equal to 2. So you always have to enclose it with a pair of curly braces. Okay. And we can, as mentioned, we can compute for the probability of these random variables. Say, for example, the probability that the random variable x, okay, you can see it here. So this represents the probability of a random variable. It just means that the probability that the random variable x is equal to x. Okay, so here we have another notation that's the x, random variable x is equal to regular value x, which denotes that event that the random variable x is equal to x. So we can make use of this notation to represent our variable first, variables, and our random variables. So we have to make use of capital letters or uppercase letters for our random variables. All right. So let's talk about now discrete random variables. So when you speak about discrete random variable, this variable um, is the value of this variable can be listed. Okay, so that's why it says here that it's finite or countably infinite number of possible values. So we can obtain it by counting. We can represent it with the values 0, 1, 2, and 3, which of course basically can be associated with probability. So if we are given frequencies later on, you know how to compute for the um what we call this, the relative frequency. So more likely that's the um probability that variable given value of a random variable occurs. Okay, so that's basically discrete random variable. Okay, so there's a finite or finite number of possible values if we are talking about discrete random variables. So discrete. Okay, so we can just count. Okay, so what are the examples of these discrete random variables? So in IT context, we have the following. Say, for example, the number of failed logging attempts in an hour. So we can count for the number of login attempts, okay, in an hour. So there may be like, there may be values, okay, like one. There's just one attempt. Okay, number of failed logins. There may be two, there may be three, four, up to a certain number of attempts. Okay, or 100. So it's still countable. That's why it's considered to be discrete random variables. Okay, so another example is the number of bugs detected in a software build. So basically, we can count the number of bugs. So that's a discrete random variable. Okay. So it happened to be that when you say, for example, you compile your program, you see number of errors, right? Every time you compile, right? So you can just list down or count the number of bugs. Okay. That's why it's called to be discrete random variable. So there are other examples like number of packet lost. So you see how it's constructed, number, okay? Meaning you count, so it requires a finite number, all right? And number of students accessing the LMS at given time. So say for example, in our course, you are say at 8:10, there may be 100 of you looking into the topics loaded in our learning management system. Okay, so these examples or these scenarios are discrete random variables. Okay, so there's another type of random variable which will be discussed later, and that's continuous random variable. So let's just quickly run through continuous random variable. So a continuous random variable can take any value within a given interval. Okay, so given an interval. So you know the type of variables or data that um, basically um, an interval value. Okay? So we can obtain the continuous random variable by measuring. So what are example of interval type of data? Okay, so say height, weight. So these are examples of continuous type of data. So it's interval in nature. Okay, remember our level of measurements discussion. All right. So here are some examples of a continuous or random variable related to IT. Okay. So say response time. Okay. How many? Like um, basically like 8 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds. Okay. So it's a continuous type as there's interval, okay, in between. Say CPU usage, all right. Transfer time per minute, okay, or milliseconds. Even so with the file size, okay, these are all um continuous random variable as we cannot count. Okay, basically we cannot count. So say there's like 100 MB, okay, to 102 MB. Okay? So magkakaiba. There's an interval. You cannot say na 102 ilang 102 MB. No, cannot be. So it's a continuous random variable. Okay? So that's for the two types of variable we have. Okay, our discrete random variable, which basically just we can count the number of outcomes. Okay, that's why it's called discrete. And we have continuous. Okay, where interval is evident to the values. Okay, that we have. So let's now start constructing the probability distribution of a discrete random variable. So what's the probability of a discrete random variable? It just it just represents no the probability associated with each possible value in a given discrete random variable. Okay? So for the properties of a discrete probability distribution, we can say that each probability, okay, each of the probability of x, okay, it should satisfy 0 for each value. It should be greater than or equal to 0 for each of the value, okay? Or the same with our probability characteristic, it should be less than, sorry, less than or equal to 1, okay? So the probability of an x, of our x, no, basically should be greater than or equal to 0 or less than or equal to 1. Another property, the same with our regular or simple events probability, the sum of all probabilities, it should be equal to 1, okay, which is equal to 1. So they say this is just the summation, okay, of the probability of a random variable x, no, it should be equal to 1. Okay, so in probability distribution, no, each probability should be between 0 and 1, okay, because all possible values of a random variable are included in the probability distribution. And the sum of the probabilities should be equal or must be equal to 1. Okay, so that's the properties of discrete, or those are the properties of discrete probability distribution. So let's have an example here. So an IT support team records the number of system errors, error reports received per day. Okay, number, remember again, number of system. So it's, you can count, okay? You can count for the error reports received per day. So the say we assuming that we have the following data. So basically, if we have, if we say there's 100% or 100 error reports, okay, we can say that there's 20 here. Okay, kasi sabi niya 0.20 yung probability. This is the probability of our random variable x. Okay, so this is 35, this is 30, and this is 15. Okay, so this is the total number of observations or the total number of error reports. Okay, so assuming that we have this value, so we can assign probability. So we have 0.20. We know that 20 divided by 100, okay, is basically 0.20. Okay? So we have 0.20 for number of errors. So there's 20% that there are no errors reported, okay, and received. There's one, okay, which happens to be 35.35 or 35%, okay, that's there's one error, no, received and reported for the day. For two, you have 30.30, that's 0.30 or 30% chance that there's two errors reported in a day. Okay. And lastly, we have 0.15, and that's maybe 15%. Okay. That there's three error reports received and reported. Okay. So that's how we basically interpret the values, the probability values assigned with each random variable values. Okay. So if we compute, basically this should be equal to 1. Okay. So this is a valid probability distribution. Distribution. Okay. This is a valid probability distribution. So let's have another example here. So let's try to construct for the probability distribution. So a cybersecurity monitoring system recorded again, number of failed logging attempts per hour over 100 hours observation. Again, so there are 100 hours of observation. So they count the number of failed login attempts per hour. So it is recorded that um, in the 100 hours, there's 12. There are 12 who basically no failed login attempts, 28 for 1, 30 for 2, 18 3, and 4 12. So our task is basically to construct the probability distribution of X. We would also would like to verify if the distribution is valid, and we will look into, okay, the probability that our X is, there are at most two failed logins, meaning at most two. So ito, okay? At most two login attempts, okay? Two login attempts in an hour, and the probability that there's more than, okay, two login attempts. So again, this is 100. You first have to compute the number of hours, okay? So how many total observation there are should be 100. Okay. So you can compute for the probability. Okay. So we have the probability of X is equal to the total number of observations, to the frequency, I should say, frequency over total observations. Okay, total observations. So, if we will assign, basically, uh, we have 12 plus 28, that's 40 plus 30, 70 plus 18, 88 plus 12, 100. Okay, so say we have 12, so basically this is 100, so madali lang, 0.12, 0.28, 0.30, 0.18, and 0.12. So this is now our probability of X. Okay, okay. So this is now our probability of X. So we can say that it's a valid probability distribution as when we compute for all of these values. Okay, I'll try to erase lang some. Okay. So, point 12. Ayan. So if we count or if we sum or get the sum of these probabilities assigned to each of the number of failed logging attempts, so we have equal to 1. Okay. So let's now answer the question. We need to find for the probability, okay, the probability that there are at most, again, at most two login attempts. Okay. So we have represented that a while ago. So we have the probability of X should be at most, which is less than or equal to 2. Okay. Maximum of 2. That's why it's called at most. So looking into here, so we have point 12 here, point 28 and point 30, point 18 and point 12. So we look into the probability that at most two failed login attempts in an hour. So we just have to sum the probabilities or get the sum of the probabilities. So ito siya, okay? So we have point 12 plus point 28 plus point 30, okay, which is equal to 30, 70, okay, point 70, okay. So this is sorry, point 70. So this is point 70, okay. So let's also construct or look into the probability that there are more than two failed attempts. So we have the probability that the probability of, I'm sorry, lagyan natin, the probability of our random variable x, okay, is, I'm sorry, let's, let's fix this. Hmm, balik tayo dun sa umpisa. So the probability that our x is less than or equal to 2. So we also have here the probability that our x, random variable x, is greater than 2. Kasi sabi niya dito, more than 2 failed login attempts. So what are yung more login? Two more against. So we have just have 3 and 4. So that's point 18 plus point 12. Point 18, point 18 plus point 12. So that's equal to 30 or point 30. So that's the probability, okay, that there are more than two failed login attempts. Okay, so that's how to compute for the probability distribution. That's how to look into the probability given a specific scenario. Okay, so don't be confused with at most, at least. At least should be greater than. Okay, more than, of course, greater than. Okay, less than. Ayan. So That's how we compute for the probability distribution. So, so we have here the computation in much clearer view. Okay, so that's how to compute for it. Next would be the expected value for a given discrete probability distribution. Okay, so it says here that the expected value of a probability distribution is the mean or average value you would expect from a random variable x based on its probability distribution. Okay, so it's calculated as the summation of x times the probability of x. Okay, so here you can see in the formula that x represents the values of a random variable. Again, this is a small x, not the actual random variable. Okay, so these are the values of a random variable and the probability of each of the values. Okay, so let's have an example. Let's make use of the same scenario a while ago. So the probability, again, the summation, sorry, the expected value of a given probability distribution is the summation of x times the probability of x. So we'll just have to multiply and get the sum. All right. So we have here x times the probability. So we have here x times the probability of x. Okay. So basically 0. Okay. Next would be 1 multiplied by 0.28, so we get 0.28. 2 multiplied by 0.30, we get 0.60. 3 times 0.18, we get 0.54. And 4 times 0.12, we get 0.48. So we get the sum of this, we get 1.90. So how do we going to interpret this? So we can say that on average, so sabi kasi natin, expected value is the mean or average of the probability distribution. So we say on average, the system experiences about 1.9 failed login attempts per hour. Okay, so basically that's how we can compute for the expected value and interpret it. Okay, so it's time for your exercise. All right, so you'll have to answer this. So a software testing team examined 80 software update modules and recorded the number of bugs found during initial testing. So your activity would be, or your exercise would be, you have to construct the probability distribution, look into whether, look for the probability that at least one bug is found. Again, that's at least one bug. Okay? So what's the probability that no more than two bugs are found? No more than two, meaning less than. Compute for the expected number of bugs per module. So speaking on the mean. Okay, so that ends our lecture on discrete random variables. Okay, so I expect you to answer the exercise. All right, so have a good day. Bye.